and God is negated and pushed to the sidelines. Well, I started studying this in quite some depth and came to the conclusion eventually that the biblical paradigm was not far-fetched, and in fact there was more evidence to support that than to support the evolutionary paradigm. And this brought me, of course, into major conflict with the scientific world. Eventually, while I was at Stellenbosch, I resigned, and I decided that I was no longer willing to sit on two chairs. I wasn't going to sit on the fence and pretend there wasn't a problem. But I was again appointed at the University of the Western Cape, and they knew full well what my position was. So I felt that that was something that I could live with. My colleagues were all evolutionists. Most of them were atheists. In fact, throughout my entire career, most of my colleagues were either total atheists or, well, theistic evolutionists at best, but most of them atheists. So this was a major problem. Now, when I was at my university, the students used to always ask me why I approached the subject so differently. Because if I ever spoke about evolution, I would say, the theory of evolution says, and then I tell them what it says. Now, a student is a very curious thing. Did you know that? So at some stage, they would say, excuse me, what do you say? Then I would say to them, it's not part of the curriculum. But if you want to know, then arrange a lecture after hours and I'll tell you. Now, that's a carrot that they cannot refuse. So eventually I would give a lecture after hours, and then the students would take this back into the other classes, and this would create, can you guess? Major confrontation. Major confrontation. Eventually, legislation in the world started changing, and that, which is a theory, became compulsory.